Good evening, friends. Today is November 4th, and it is the fourth day in the series, 30 Ways in 30 Days. And today's topic is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a wonderful gift that you give yourself, as far as I'm concerned. It frees up energy, it releases resistance, and you are able to move forward more swiftly than you are able to when you're holding on to something. Forgiveness is not about saying what the other person did is okay or that it's right, it's also not an invitation for someone else to continue doing something to you that's doesn't feel good. However, I like to give myself the gift of forgiveness, and it allows me to let go of that resentment, let go of that anger, and move on gracefully. So the way that I incorporate that as a regular practice is an evening type of technique. I know the last couple of days I have presented some processes that I use in the morning, but I found that forgiveness is best tackled in the evening because you're able to go back and review the day, and you can ask yourself, who do I need to forgive today? And kind of walk through that process. Now, some people have asked me, how do you forgive when what the other person did is so bad or wrong or hurt so much? And the answer, like so much in these techniques that I'm sharing with you, it has this commonality. It is a deliberate, conscious choice. That's how. And I know that sounds overly simplistic, but you have to decide. Well, remember that question I posed the other day, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? Same thing is true of the energy that you're using when you choose to remain in unforgiveness versus forgiveness. If I choose to stay angry about somebody did something wrong, it made me really mad, I can choose to stay angry about that. I can choose not to forgive that person. But in doing so, I'm using up my energy. So I'm saying yes to anger, yes to unforgiveness. And what am I saying no to? Other things that I could be using my energy on. I'm effectively saying no to joy. I'm saying no to focusing on something else. So in very simple terms, forgiveness is a deliberate choice. So if you have a PM ritual of reviewing your day and asking yourself, who do I need to forgive today? And then you remember something, say it was a family member, a co-worker, a neighbor, some guy that cut you off and you were resentful the whole time that you were driving. You can review your day, think about those situations, and then make the deliberate choice to let it go. Again, you're not saying that was okay. You're not, inviting that type of behavior in the future, but you're giving yourself the gift of that energy back, of taking that energy back. Sometimes forgiving someone can be more difficult than that, more challenging. It's not just, I choose to forgive and there it's wiped out. You can't just wipe out especially if something that was a long time ago or a habit, a repeated action. So I have another process that I use for forgiveness in those scenarios. It's great to do this when you have a little bit of time, when you can be alone and really take your time to do this process. I like to close my eyes and sit comfortably, take a few deep cleansing breaths, and then imagine that I'm there with the person sitting in a space. And in that imagined scenario, I can say everything I need to say to that person. You did this, it hurt, you shouldn't have done this, and whatever I need to say to be cleansed of that. I don't have to say it to that person to get that out. I just need to acknowledge that those thoughts and ideas are there, so I can do it just as effectively in my imagination. Then I give the person the opportunity to reply in whatever way I imagine they're replying. And once they've said whatever they need to say, then if I need to rebut that or say more, and the process goes back and forth until I feel completion, until I feel like it is done. And typically at the end of these types of scenarios, I imagine saying to that person, I forgive you, all is forgiven. And again, this isn't something that I share with other people. This is just within my imagination. And I found it to be very effective. I think. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. How do you know if you've truly forgiven somebody deeply and completely? You know this when you can wish for them the very same things that you would wish for yourself: health, prosperity, success, love, joy. If you can honestly imagine wishing that for that other person, then you know that you have forgiven them. So that's just like a little litmus test that you can use. Sometimes for long-standing grievances, it takes a little while to forgive somebody. It takes going back and using that scenario a few times. But you can get there, and it is a gift that you can give to yourself. I do highly recommend it. And like I said, to check in at the end of each day, who do I need to forgive today? Sometimes I find I need to forgive myself. And otherwise, I would be carrying around guilt or not feeling worthy if I've made a mistake. And I think a lot of people are inclined to do that. So if I go through the day and I didn't handle a situation the way I would have preferred, I choose to forgive myself for that and let it go. It is a way for me to consider how I might do something different in the future. And so I absolutely use it as a learning experience. But I'm just as worthy of forgiveness as anybody else. And so there you go. I hope you found this video helpful today. And I hope you have a lovely evening. And I'll get back with you tomorrow. Bye.